Hey guys, welcome to the Rail Relics. In this video, we are going to dive deep into the ultimate history of the tracks and look at three legendary trains that completely changed the United States forever. Before starting the video, if you are new to this channel, please hit the like button, subscribe right now, and also share this video with your friends so they can also learn about U.S. train history. So without wasting any time, let's start this epic journey. Our very first train is one of the craziest, most mind-blowing experiments in railroad history, the jet-powered train known as the M497 Black Beetle. Back in the 1960s, the aviation industry was booming, and commercial airplanes were becoming the preferred choice for fast travel. Railroad companies in America were terrified of losing all their passengers, so they decided to do something absolutely wild. They wanted to see if a regular train could compete with the speed of a jet airplane. In July 1966, the New York Central Railroad took a standard lightweight diesel passenger car and modified it completely. They went to a military surplus store and bought two second-hand General Electric turbojet engines, which were originally used on massive B-36 intercontinental bomber planes. They mounted these two giant jet engines right on top of the roof of the train car. Because of its strange, futuristic, and slightly scary appearance with the massive jet pods on top, everyone nicknamed it the Black Beetle. The test runs were conducted on a long, straight stretch of track between Indiana and Ohio. With a brave test pilot inside, they fired up the roaring jet engines. The results were absolutely historic. The M497 Black Beetle accelerated like a rocket and reached a staggering top speed of 183.68 miles per hour. To this day, over 60 years later, it still holds the absolute record for the fastest conventional rail speed in North American history. However, despite the incredible success of the speed test, the jet train project was completely canceled. The engineers realized that running jet engines on regular train tracks was incredibly dangerous, extremely loud, and burned way too much fuel to be commercially viable. Also, the intense jet blast could easily destroy stations and tracks. Even though the original jet engines were later removed and the car went back to regular service, the Black Beetle remains a legendary symbol of the wildest era of American speed innovation. Now, let's shift our gears from jet engines to the ultimate king of raw mechanical power, the legendary Union Pacific Big Boy 4014. This is a massive piece of history that still roars on the tracks today. It is widely known as the largest, heaviest, and most powerful operational steam locomotive anywhere in the world. When you see it in person, the sheer, monumental size of this iron machine is completely mind-blowing. Let's travel back in time to understand why this giant was created. In the late 1930s, Union Pacific needed a locomotive that could haul massive, miles-long, heavy freight trains over the steep Wasatch Mountains between Utah and Wyoming. They needed something with unmatched power so they wouldn't have to waste time using multiple helper engines. This led to the birth of the Big Boy class in 1941. Only 25 of these incredible giants were ever built, and number 4014 is the greatest survivor among them. To understand its massive scale, let's talk about the mind-boggling numbers behind it. The Big Boy weighs around 1.2 million pounds. It features a unique 4884 wheel arrangement, which means it has two independent sets of 8 driving wheels under one massive boiler. This allowed the train to articulate and bend around sharp mountain curves despite its immense length. When this iron beast moves, it literally shakes the ground beneath your feet, producing thousands of horsepower to pull heavy cargo. The Big Boy worked tirelessly through the 1940s and 1950s, helping transport crucial goods across America during World War II and the post-war boom. However, as technology advanced, modern diesel engines became cheaper and easier to maintain. By the late 1950s, the era of steam was coming to an end. The Big Boy 4014 made its very last commercial run in July 1959, and it was officially retired in 1961, marking the end of a golden era. After its retirement, number 4014 was donated to a museum in California, where it sat as a display piece for decades. Everyone thought it would never breathe fire again. But in 2013, Union Pacific made a historic decision. They bought the engine back and began a massive multi-year restoration project to bring it back to life. Expert mechanics worked around the clock, replacing parts and even converting the engine to run on fuel oil instead of coal. Finally, in 2019, the big boy 4014 was completely restored and woke up once again. Today, it does not haul regular freight. Instead, it serves as a rolling museum, going on special excursion tours across the United States. When it is not touring the country and thrilling thousands of rail fans, its official home is at the Union Pacific Steam Shop in Cheyenne, Wyoming. That is where this historic king of steam engines is safely kept, maintained, and prepared for its next legendary journey. Finally, let's look at our third train, which represents one of the most unique engineering designs ever created, the historic Chesapeake and Ohio M1 steam turbine locomotive. Introduced in 1947, this train was built during a time when railroads were desperately trying to find a way to combine the traditional power of coal with the modern efficiency of electric and diesel engines. The Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad wanted something revolutionary to power their fast luxury passenger trains, and the M1 was their answer. The M1 was an absolute giant, measuring over 140 feet long, making it one of the longest single-unit locomotives ever made. What made it completely unique was how it generated power. Instead of using traditional pistons like a regular steam engine, the M1 used a massive coal-fired boiler to produce steam, which then spun a giant turbine. This turbine spun massive electrical generators, which provided smooth electric power to the wheels. It was essentially a rolling steam-powered electric plant. The design was extremely futuristic for its time, featuring a streamlined, sleek nose with the driver's cab positioned right in the center of the massive chassis. The railroad hoped that this steam turbine technology would provide a super smooth ride for passengers while running at high speeds of up to 100 miles per hour. It was built to handle long, high-speed passenger routes through the mountains, showcasing the absolute peak of post-war American industrial design. Unfortunately, the M1 steam turbine turned out to be ahead of its time, and the experiment faced massive engineering challenges. The locomotive was incredibly complex, which made it very expensive and difficult to maintain. Coal dust and water moisture frequently caused major issues with the delicate electrical generators and the turbine system. Because of these constant breakdowns and the rapid rise of much simpler, highly reliable diesel locomotives, the Chesapeake and Ohio retired the M1 fleet after only a few years of service. Even though they were sadly scrapped and none survive today, the M1 remains a legendary and beautiful symbol of the ultimate experimental limits of steam power history. From the roaring, rocket-like speed of the jet-powered M497 Black Beetle to the earth-shaking power of the Union Pacific Big Boy 4014, and finally to the massive experimental engineering of the Chesapeake and Ohio M1 steam turbine, these three trains shaped the history, economy, and culture of the United States. They proved that the spirit of innovation can turn iron and steel into living legends. Which of these three incredible trains was your absolute favorite? Let me know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button for more epic rail history. Thank you for watching Rail Relics, and we will see you in the next video. Before you leave, remember I choose you to like and subscribe.